Hello, everybody. It is yet that time again where I am here to rank all the films that I saw in a given month, this one being May 2019. With that, this has been the beginning of the summer movie season. I mean, I know that Avengers Endgame technically kicked it off, but there have been a lot more summer type movies that came out in the past month with things like Detective Pikachu, John Wick, Aladdin, and Godzilla. But there are also a good amount of other films that I watched as well that didn't get as much attention on my channel or even my Facebook page. So I wanted to take this opportunity to rank all the films that I saw to at least give you an idea as to what my experience has been with all these films throughout this past month. So I hope you enjoy seeing how I rank all the films that I saw this past month, how it's been my experience, and I hope it's informative to you as to what films you should seek out as well. When I read some time ago that Amy Poehler would be making her directorial debut with a comedy on Netflix, I was skeptical but still intrigued, but then to my absolute terror, everything about this film fell short completely. With production value barely passable for daytime television, an abysmal and completely unfunny script, a meaningless story, and tone-deaf direction that couldn't figure out how to make its mean-spirited characters likable, I got no ounce of pleasure watching this whatsoever. Sometimes a movie can be entertaining even when it's bad, but Wine Country just angered me and wasted my time. Unlike some people, I actually really appreciated the Gareth Edwards Godzilla that came out in 2014. In my opinion, by being completely reactionary to the criticisms people had with that movie, Warner Brothers ran this sequel into the ground by focusing too much on creating flashy visuals and not making a coherent film. All I ask from a monster movie is to balance excellent monster action with a decent enough story, but Godzilla King of the Monsters couldn't even give me one or the other. With such a prolific figure in literature as J.R.R. Tolkien and actor Nicholas Hoult possessing great talent as an actor, Tolkien should have won me over. While I choose to not argue with those who enjoyed this biopic for legitimate reasons, I simply found myself bored while watching it. Given how much I love Middle-earth and wanted to know more about Tolkien's history, I should have gotten a lot more out of this than what I actually did. Admittedly a better film than most Disney live-action remakes, Aladdin deserves some credit for giving us some decent arrangements of iconic songs, very pleasing visuals, and mostly good performances, especially from Naomi Scott and Will Smith. Personally, though, I just never really felt that this remake justified its own existence, considering that it retreads the animated original beat by beat, with minor details added in. If Disney continues to produce these types of movies, I would hope that they would continually take more creative routes like the Cinderella and Pete's Dragon remakes. Jonathan Levine is a sorely underrated director working in Hollywood right now, who has shown that with films like 50-50 and Warm Bodies that he can deliver something truly memorable when given a good script. With Long Shot, the same certainly holds true for his talent in getting good comedic performances from his cast, while I do feel that the screenplay and pacing could have benefited from more scrutiny. Had the film's structure, central romance, mixed messaging, and style of comedy been more refined, I think it would have worked on me better. Nevertheless, not a bad movie by any means. By all accounts, I have no idea what director Joe Berlinger is trying to accomplish by intending to tell Ted Bundy's story from the perspective of his girlfriend, and then barely incorporating her angle whatsoever. This makes for a watchable, well-shot, and decently paced movie, but certainly not a gratifying one. Still, if someone is to approach this movie simply as a vehicle for Zac Efron to show what he's capable of, they'll at least gain something from the experience. For what it's worth, Efron's natural charm was a perfect fit for the serial killer prominently known for that kind of public persona. I wouldn't exactly go so far as to say that Detective Pikachu's competence as a film redeems the pitiful subgenre of video game movies. This live-action adaptation of the Pokemon franchise is littered with problems such as weak acting, pacing issues, and a done-to-death plotline, to name a few. Nonetheless, the fact that we do have a video game movie this unironically enjoyable and well-crafted is still a notable step in the right direction. Even though the bar is only slightly higher at this point, this Ryan Reynolds vehicle will hopefully encourage Hollywood to treat their video game source material with deeper respect. Although Brightburn doesn't take its fiendishly tantalizing premise to its fullest potential, I still enjoyed the ride that the Gunn family took me on. Its tight pacing, surprisingly strong production value, and effective atmosphere gave me enough reasons to become enveloped in this film's world, which then helped me care about the characters. Memorable performances, particularly from Elizabeth Banks and David Denman, ultimately solidified that for me. I would have preferred something longer, more fleshed out, and even scarier, but this film will hopefully be a good jumping off point for a better superhero horror film in the future. Kenneth Branagh has had quite the varying career between his work on the stage and in front of cameras, but he's undeniably best known for his love for Shakespearean material. Given how mixed people seem to be on this drama Branagh directed about Shakespeare's final days, I'm genuinely surprised by how much I like it. There are certainly aspects of the pacing and unnecessary side plots that could have been improved, yet the film works well enough by mixing together excellent performances, superb cinematography, a solid production, and a fascinating story. Given the massive praise this movie has received, I may be in the minority in admitting that I wasn't completely taken by it. Such mainly has to do with the film's overall sense of humor, its occasionally fantastical nature, and how much the plot feels chained down to high school movie cliches. That being said, Booksmart is a thoroughly enjoyable and even heartfelt movie that any 18 to 25-year-old should easily eat right up. Olivia Wilde did quite a fine job in having this be her directorial debut, and I eagerly await what else we will get from her in the coming years. Thus far, the John Wick series has been one of the most consistently entertaining and well-executed action film franchises out there. Not even the original Indiana Jones trilogy could honestly say their quality was as consistent as the 3 John Wick films we have so far, and Chapter 3 is evidence that the series isn't showing any signs of fatigue. While I have my issues with the storytelling, this third installment once again delivers top-notch sequences, stunning cinematography, and a good enough story to both keep Keanu Reeves on his toes and retain audience attention. Given how good this film was, you can count on me watching Chapter 4 in May 2021. If you told me 6 months ago that I would like a quaint documentary about a self-sustaining, eco-friendly farm in Central California more than a third John Wick movie, I would have just laughed in your face and called you an idiot. But my goodness did I enjoy this special movie. Aside from being full of lush imagery, strong entertainment value, and fascinating content about how nature works in tangent with farmers, The Biggest Little Farm holds greater value than all other films on this list because of what it represents. On one hand, you have the themes about preserving nature and creating symbiotic relationships between us and Mother Earth, but then the movie also works as a tribute to those who valiantly chase after their lifelong dreams. I'm so glad that director John Chester and his wife Molly decided to film their experience in building their lovely farm together, for their work resulted in a moving and socially beneficial piece of art. The Biggest Little Farm is my movie of the month for May 2019, and I would encourage all to see it, especially families and those interested in sustainability. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate your support as always, and look forward to more reviews coming out in this next week. As always, if you like this content, please check out my Facebook, Letterboxd, and Instagram pages for more content. But otherwise, thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one.